Hi everyone, welcome to your mat. I'm Christina and today we're practicing yoga for your PT test. What you'll need today is a yoga mat and 2 yoga blocks. If you don't have blocks, that's okay. Grab 2 thicker books. We're going to be using them underneath our hands. Also, if you're practicing on a hard surface like a hardwood floor, maybe grab a blanket to provide some cushion underneath your knees. So if you need to press pause and gather up your props and equipment, please feel free, and I'll meet you back here when you're ready. All right, so today we're going to be focusing on our PT test and yoga that builds strength, stability, and mobility that's going to support us in that PT test. So today we're going to be focusing on shoulders and chest, core, glutes, our breath, because our breath is super important during the run, and just general mobility, full body. Okay? So we're going to start out seated. We're going to begin this class with our breath. So find a comfortable seat. If you need to sit up on a blanket, cushion, or block to elevate the hips, please feel free to do so. Rest the hands on knees, thighs, lap, wherever is comfortable. If you like, you can close your eyes or soften the gaze down towards the floor. Just begin to notice the breath to start. Notice the simple inhale and exhale, something that happens automatically, but is such a powerful tool for our bodies and our minds. So become more conscious of the breath by observing its journey in and out of the body. Soften the jaw, unclench the teeth. Relax the sides of your face, the sides of your neck and throat. Soften the inside of your mouth. And soften your gaze beneath your eyelids. See if you can draw the eyes further into your skull. And then we're going to practice a 4x4 breathing exercise. So what that means is that we're going to inhale for 4 counts and exhale for 4 counts. So go ahead and exhale all your air out, starting with empty lungs. And then let's inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue this breathing pattern on your own. Know that you can adjust the counts. So if 4 feels too long, adjust to 2 or 3. If 4 doesn't feel long enough, adjust to 5 or 6. Try to make it so you're filling your lungs completely, but not causing any strain in the body. And then try to control your exhale so that it matches the length of your inhale and it's nice and smooth as you release the air. Keeping the breath regulated during our run is so important. And if you practice these breathing exercises, you're going to build the capacity of your lungs. When you build the capacity of your lungs, you'll be able to take in more air, more oxygen, and you'll be able to send that oxygen to your firing muscles more frequently and more effectively, which means you'll fatigue slowly or more slowly. Go ahead and finish your last exhale, and then let the breathing return to normal. You can begin to blink the eyes open. Take this conscious breath with you as we transition into tabletop position. So tabletop means shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Pad your knees if you have sensitive knees and you feel like you need some extra support. Spread your fingers wide so you can see big slices of mat in between your fingers. And then we're going to take our torso in a circle around our wrists. So what this looks like from the front is I'm moving my torso around in a circle so that the weight distribution is changing throughout my hands. This is a great wrist warm-up, especially as we do a lot of push-ups in our PT test, and we'll be working on some push-up strength today. So we want to warm up the wrists, warm up the forearms. All right, now reverse your circle, so move in the opposite direction. See if you can feel the weight pressing through the different parts of your hands as you move. Take a few more rounds. Really feel into this movement. Pull that belly button slightly up and in to support your low back. And then let's find our center once more with shoulders over wrists. So now we're coming into cat-cow. So on your inhale, I'd like you to lift your tailbone, tilt your pelvis forward as you begin to arch the spine and reach the chest forward. You don't need to throw your head back, just look forward to the top of your mat. As you exhale, begin to tilt the tailbone down towards the floor, rounding the spine, press the floor away, cat pose. Inhale, cow, arching the spine, lifting the tailbone, lifting the heart. Exhale, cat pose, tailbone lengthens down, chin into chest. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Come back to neutral now, and I'd like you to turn your hands around. If you can make it so that your fingers are pointing back towards your knees, great. If that's not available to you, try to come like halfway, maybe a little bit further. Take it as far as you can, as long as it feels good in your wrists. So now we're getting a nice stretch through the forearms and the bottoms of the wrists. Same thing, inhale, cow pose, lift the chest forward, lift your tailbone, arch the spine. Exhale, cat pose, round the back with the hands in this new position. Inhale, cow pose, soften the belly down towards the ground. Exhale, pull the navel in, round the spine. One more round, inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Okay, turn the hands back around. You may feel like you need to make some wrist circles to kind of work out some of this new sensation in the wrists. That's fine. Take that time to kind of just move the wrists around. Release any tension. And then we're going to get set up for modified Chaturanga push-ups. Okay, we're going to build strength for push-ups without doing a bunch of push-ups. So what I'd like you to do is take your knees slightly behind your hips, shoulders stack over wrists, big wide spread in the fingers. Pull the hip points, these two bony protuberances at the front of your pelvis, pull them towards your chin so that your navel pulls in. Now, in this long spine position with the knees down, I want you to bend the elbows, keep the arms hugged in at your sides, lower down halfway, press up to the top. That's 1. Let's do 7 more. So inhale down, bend the elbows, exhale, press up. That's 2. Keep those bony hip points reaching towards the chin as you press up. 3, inhale down, exhale up. 4, inhale down, nice and slow, control it. Exhale up. 5, pull the navel in, keep the core engaged. Inhale down, exhale up. 6, 2 more times. Inhale down, nice and slow, exhale up. 7, last one. Inhale, lower down, exhale, press up. 8, this time lower down all the way down to the mat. Bring your chest and belly down to the floor. Next up, we're going to take a baby cobra pose. So hands underneath shoulders. Inhale to peel the shoulders and chest up off the mat. Leave the belly down for now and just focus on pressing your hips down, lengthening your tailbone towards your heels. Press the tops of the feet, tops of the thighs down into the mat. And then exhale to slowly lower the body back down all the way. Now, before you press up, I want you to think about taking those hip points that I talked about earlier, pull them towards your chin, lengthen your tailbone down, a kind of a posterior pelvic tilt Tuck the toes under. You can press up to tabletop, hands and knees, or you can press all the way to your top of your push-up, plank pose. And then we'll all tuck our toes under, lift the hips up and back, transition to downward facing dog. So find a long spine here, glue the hands down to the ground. And then we're going to slowly walk our feet towards our hands. So take some small steps to come towards the top of the mat, feet hips distance apart, bend the knees slightly, fold over the legs, let the head hang heavy. As you inhale, slide the hands up onto the shins, shoot the heart forward, send the tailbone back, bringing your spine parallel to the floor. Half lift, exhale to fold all the way over the legs. Now next up, we're transitioning to chair pose. So bend the knees deeply, sweep the arms forward so that your fingertips brush the mat as you bring the torso up like you're sitting down in an invisible chair. So knees behind the toes, kneecaps track over the second and third toe of each foot. And we're gonna hold. Pull that belly in, lengthen your tailbone down, become long in the low back. Pull the hip points up towards your chin. These bony hip points right here where the front of your hip bones are for 3, 2, 1. Inhale to stand up. Release the arms down to your sides. Shake it out just for a moment. And then we're coming back into chair pose. So as you inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms down. See if you can brush the fingertips against the mat. Sit down in that chair pose. Try to spread through your feet. So imagine that you could like rip the mat in half in between your feet. So your feet, imagine that they're spreading on the mat. You should feel the outer hips engage. Hold for 3. Long spine, pull the navel in. 2. 1. Bring the hands through center, fold over the legs. Bring belly to thighs, lift the hips, let the head hang. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins, send the heart forward, lengthen through the spine. Half lift. Exhale, fold back over the legs. Good. Plant the hands down on the mat. We're going to step the feet back to tabletop. Okay, so come back down onto your hands and knees. Now, option here. If the first round of push-ups was too easy and you want to try full chaturanga push-ups, be my guest. I'm going to demonstrate those for you. If you were comfortable, those first 8 reps were challenging, you're going to do the exact same thing for 8 more reps. So taking the knees slightly back, bringing the hips in line with shoulders and knees, and you're going to do the same thing. Now, for those of you that are taking full chaturanga push-ups, we're going to tuck the toes under to come into a high plank pose. Now, before you start, we're going to rock the feet or rock the weight slightly forward so that shoulders come past the wrists. Come onto your tippy toes. All right, everybody, inhale, lower down, bend the elbows, come about halfway. Shoulders do not pass the elbows. Exhale, press up to the top of your push-up. Inhale, halfway down. Exhale up. That's 2. Inhale down. If you just want to try a couple full chaturanga push-ups, back up, that's 3. Inhale down. You can try a few and then modify down to your knees. That's 4. If you want to lower your knees down at any point, inhale down. Exhale up. 5. Inhale down. Exhale up. 6. Inhale down. Control the movement. Exhale up. 7. Inhale down. Last one. Exhale up. That's 8. Phew. This time lower all the way down onto your belly, onto your chest. Take your hands slightly behind your shoulders next to your upper ribs and chest. Inhale to peel the chest. If this feels good, maybe peel the top of the belly. If that feels good, you can bring the belly all the way up. Now think about pulling backward through the heels of your hands as you send the heart forward, bring the shoulders down and back. Exhale, slowly lower back down to the mat. Inhale, press up to tabletop or tuck the toes. Exhale, slowly bring it back down. This time we're gonna inhale, lengthen the tailbone down, bring those hip points up towards the chin. Practice this motion as we press up to hands and knees. Tabletop position. All right, from your tabletop, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, we're gonna take some knee tucks and we're gonna work on core strength and hip strength. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the left leg. So we're gonna exhale, pull the left knee into the chest. Inhale, bring it back to the beginning, and then we're gonna do a fire hydrant. So you're like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Lift that left knee out to the side, and bring it back to center. So exhale in, tuck it in, inhale back, exhale lift, inhale bring it back. All right, go ahead and join me if you haven't already. Exhale, pull the knee in, inhale, exhale, bring the left knee out to the side, inhale back to center. Keep going. Now, if this is really challenging for you, if you need some more space in your upper body, bring the hands up onto some blocks. Same thing, knee pulls in, bring it back, knee comes out, bring it back. You can also do this with thick books if you don't have blocks. So keep going, knee into the chest, knee out to the side. You should feel that slight pinch in the outside of your left hip. Keep going. One more round, wherever you are. Exhale, pull it in. Last fire hydrant on this side, and then set it back down. Great job. Circle out the wrists if you need to. We got to do the other side. So take some time to care for your wrists if it's starting to get a little intense. And then come back to that tabletop. All right, same thing. This time, right knee, exhale, pull it into the chest. Inhale back, exhale, right knee out to the side, fire hydrant, pull it back. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, exhale, fire hydrant, inhale. So keep going at your own pace, same thing. I kind of like it up on the blocks. I feel like it gives my body a little bit more space. So feel free to take this option. Moving at your own pace. Making sure your core is engaged, that your spine is long and neutral, that the back of your neck is long and neutral. And what I mean by neutral is that there's not a big sag in your spine and there's not a big rounding in your spine. That it's more in like its neutral, regular spinal curve. One more round. Great job, and then return back to your tabletop position. Whew. You might be building up a sweat. I know I am. Take the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes under, spread the fingers wide, heels or hips towards heels as you lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So press the floor away, find length in the spine, firm the shoulder blades on the back body. Option to pedal out the feet here. So you can alternate bending one knee, dropping the opposite heel down towards the ground to kind of work into the hamstrings a little bit. All right, we're going to work a little bit on mobility in this next block. So find stillness in your downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, pull right knee through center line, step the right foot between the hands. If you need to transition through tabletop, that's fine. Lower the left knee down. Coming into low lunge. So right knee stacks over right ankle. You can rest the hands on your right thigh, hips, or inhale the arms forward and up. Your choice. So we want to find a balance between stability and mobility here. So we don't want to totally just like let the hips sag down to the ground. Instead, we want to engage by pressing the right heel down and pressing the left shin down. And then thinking about magnetizing right heel towards left knee towards right heel. While at the same time letting the hips be heavy, coming down to the floor so that we feel a stretch through this left hip flexor. I know that's a lot to think about. Try to pick like one or two of those things to think about and incorporate into your body right now. All right, take both hands down to the ground, press the hips back, lift the right toes, little hamstring stretch. So soften that right knee. We don't need to lock out the knee joint. Lengthen through the spine. Notice if the spine is rounding. Might mean you need to take hands up onto blocks. Breathe into the sensation that's happening in the back of your right leg. And then come back forward into that low lunge. Now this time we're going to heel toe this right foot to the outer right edge of your mat. We're coming into lizard pose. So bring both hands to the inside of the right foot. Let the hips drop down. Now if you need some height here, you can always bring the hands up onto blocks to bring your torso higher up so that the hips can drop down a little bit more. Now option here, you can stay on the sole of the right foot like so, or you can start to let the right knee draw away from the body, rolling onto the pinky toe side of the left foot. This is going to create more of a stretch through the inner right groin, the inner thigh. So try it out, see if it feels good, choose the option that's right for you. Working on mobility in the hips here. It's important that we have strength and mobility in the hips as we run. Also, the sit-ups that we do tend to be really hard on the quads and hip flexors, so we want to make sure we're stretching those out so that they're healthy and not tight. Okay, start to bring that right knee back in, coming onto the bottom of the right foot. Heel toe that right foot back between the hands, and we're going to switch sides. So step that right foot back, coming into that tabletop. Let's tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. One breath here in down dog. And then inhale, lift the left leg high to the sky. Exhale, pull the left knee through center, step the left foot in between the hands. Transition through tabletop if you need to. Lower that right knee down. Walk the hands up onto left thigh or into the hips, your choice. So find that same balance that we did before. So think about magnetizing left heel towards right knee towards left heel now. So you should feel a slight scissoring sensation through the inner thighs. And then let the hips drop down as much as they feel like you can go today. Don't have to go super deep. We just want to feel a nice stretch. So bring the shoulders over the hips. Notice if you're kind of leaning forward, which you can, have the hands down on either side of the foot if that better serves you today. But if you're up, try to make sure that your shoulders are over your hips in space. And then let's all take the hands down to frame the foot. Start to walk the hands back as we lift the left toes for our hamstring stretch or half splits. So now we're stretching through the back of the left leg, hamstring and calf area. So soften the left knee joint. Make sure your spine is long. Left foot is flexed. Breathe into whatever sensation you're feeling. And then slowly walk the hands forward into that low runner's lunge. Heel toe the left foot to the outside of the left side of your mat. Bring both hands down. Let the hips drop. Option 2, come onto the blocks if you need some more height underneath your hands. Also, if you like, you can let that left knee start to come away from the body, rolling onto the pinky toe side of the left foot. Bring your spine into neutral. Make sure your neck is in line with the rest of your spine. So notice if your head is hanging down or if you're looking way forward. Try to soften the back of your neck and smooth out any lines in the back side of your neck. Awesome job. One more breath. And then we're going to bring that left knee back in towards center line. Heel toe that left foot back between the hands. And then step that left foot back into tabletop. All right, from tabletop, we're going to transition into seated and then transition through seated to come down onto our backs. So next up, we've got bridge pose. So bend the knees, bring the heels in close to your booty. Let your spine be long down on the ground. You can take the arms long or bend the elbows. And we're going to do 10 bridge lifts. So pressing into your heels, you're going to lift the hips up towards the ceiling, squeeze the glutes at the top, and then slowly lower back down for 10 reps. Here we go. All right, so lift the hips. That's 1. Lower down. Lift and down. That's 2. Lift, down. 3. Lift, down. 4. Lift, down. 5. Lift, down. 6. Make sure your knees are in line with your hips, that they're not collapsing in or out. That's 8. 2 more. 9 and 10. Okay, we're going to change it up just a little bit. So now we're going to bring the soles of our feet together and the knees a little bit wider into this butterfly pose. So same thing, we're going to lift the hips up and down, but now our legs are in a slightly different configuration. Now if this hurts, just do regular bridge pose, but if it feels okay, join me here. So you're going to press into the pinky toe sides of your feet as you lift the hips up and down. So we're going to do 10. Here we go. Lift and down. 1. Lift and down. 2. Squeeze the outsides of your hips as you lift. This targets a slightly different part of your booty, more in the glute med area. Lift and down. That's 5. 5 more. Lift and down. 6. Lift and down. 7. Squeeze at the top. Down. 8. Lift. Down. 9. Lift. Down. 10. Excellent work. Okay, grab your block if you have a block. Okay, if you don't have a block, you can grab a foam roller. You can grab like a Pilates ball or an exercise ball. You're going to want something that can bridge the gap in between your forearms and your thighs. So I'm using a block. You use whatever you've got around. We're going to do an exercise called dead bug. And if you're in the fighter pilot community, you probably just fell to the ground. It's fine, whatever. So we're going to use this block as like a reference point. So I want you to pull your low back down to the ground or pull your belly button in. So what we're going to do is we're going to press into the block with the right side as we extend the left side. So left leg is going to extend down as left arm extends up, and then you're going to bring it back together. And then right leg is going to extend down, right arm extends up. Now, if this is too intense for you, just do the legs. Keep the arms where they are and just extend the legs one at a time. Further option for modification, tap the toes. Don't extend the legs all the way and keep the knees bent. All right, here we go. We're going to do 10 reps total, so 5 on each side, alternating back and forth. So let's start with the left side. So press the right forearm, right thigh together as we extend the left leg, left arm. Bring it back together. Now right leg, right arm, extend. Exhale, bring it back in. Inhale, left arm, left leg. Exhale. Inhale, right arm, right leg. Exhale. That's 4, 6 more. Inhale, left. Bring it back together. Inhale, right. Bring it back together. Slow and controlled. Really pull the belly in as you press the low back down. Left side, bring it back together. Right side. Bring it back together. Wow. 2 more. Abs are on fire. Left side. Exhale. Right side. Exhale. And relax. Holy cow. That was challenging. Abs are on fire. Great job. We're going to stretch it out. So reach the arms up overhead and the legs down long. We're going to take banana pose. So basically, you're going to make your body into a banana. So walk your feet over to the left as you bring your wrists over to the left, bringing your body into like a little side stretch. So hopefully you feel a little bit of a stretching sensation through the right side of your body. If you want to feel a little bit more, take that right ankle, cross it over your left, take that right wrist, pull it with the left wrist. So find length through the right side of the body. Breathe. Good, and then let's switch sides. So bring everything back to center, and then walk the feet over to the right side of your mat, the hands to the right side of your mat. If you like, cross that left ankle over the right, grab that left wrist with your right hand, and bring your body into that curving crescent moon C shape. Breathe, try to release tension out of the hips, out of the shoulders. Just let your body kind of be a little bit more passive here. This is a yin yoga pose, so it's meant to be held for a longer period of time. We're not going to do it as long as you would in a yin yoga class, but we want to let our body be as passive as possible. Beautiful. Let's bring our way back to center. Bend the knees. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Pull that left thigh in for a figure 4 stretch. Now, if you feel sensation with the left foot down on the floor, you can stay here. If you need a strap or a rolled up towel to reach the back of your left thigh, that's fine. Or if you can interlace the fingers behind the thigh or in front of the shin, that's great too. Keep that right foot flexed. Breathe into the sensation of the right hip. And release. Reset. Cross left ankle over right thigh. Pull it in. Flex through the left foot. Breathe into the left hip. Excellent work. Go ahead and release. We're going to finish in constructive rest. So I want you to take your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees knock in against each other. So let them rest against each other. Let's take one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest. Just settle in. Move anything out of your way that would be distracting. Maybe a hair tie, maybe a prop. Find stillness. Make any wiggles to make yourself comfortable. And then settle in. Let's come back to that 4x4 breath. So inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue this pattern of breath, adjusting the numbers as necessary. Each time you exhale, release a little bit more tension out of the body. It's also important for us to relax our nervous system, especially going into a PT test. Sometimes it causes a lot of stress and anxiety. So taking time for these breathing practices not only benefits lung capacity and overall health, but it benefits your nervous system. Go ahead and release the breathing pattern, returning to normal breaths. Walk the feet in as you gather both knees into the chest for a little squeeze, Apanasana. And then roll to one side and press yourself up, coming to a comfortable seated position. Bringing the hands to prayer at heart center. Thank you for practicing with me today. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your PT test prep, whatever phase you're in. Sending you so much love and appreciation for what you do from my heart to yours. Namaste.